Welcome to Bedtime Stories with Brandon Copeland. I got 3 boys here today. I got Lewis.
Hi.
Benson.
Hi.
And Max.
What's up?
All right. Once upon a time, there were 3 brothers, and they were building a fort in their house. And they started building their fort out of pillows, and then they used pillows and then blankets. And then after that, they had to get all the books to hold the blankets in place and some chairs. And then they got the couch cushions. And pretty soon they had used almost everything in their house to create this fort. And the youngest brother was inside the fort, crawling around, and he decided he wanted to have his own special room in the fort. So he took one of the cushions and one of the chairs, and he moved them. And when he did,
Fort collapsed.
the whole fort collapsed. All the pillows, all the blankets, all the books, all the chairs, they all just collapsed on top of the little brother. And he let out a terrible yell. Ah! The older brothers, when they heard that yell, it was so muffled. They looked at each other and they said, "Did you hear something?" "No, I didn't hear anything." "Did you?" "No, I didn't either." So the older brothers just continued doing what they were doing. They were just playing Legos and eating snacks. And they didn't even think to get their little brother out. Well, things got really busy. Well, he was stuck. There were so many things. He got stuck. They were in there for so long. The little brother was in there for so long because the older brothers had a soccer game and then dinner. And then when it was time for bed, everybody was looking for the little brother, and they remembered, we heard a scream. Maybe he's in the fort. So they took apart the fort, and when they did, the little brother had grown a bunch of green hair on the back of his neck. And the older brothers looked at him and they said, "What is happening to your neck?" And the little brother thought they were kidding. He's like, "What are you talking about? Get away from me." And they're like, "Your neck has green hair on it. Like something's up." And they took him into the bathroom and they pulled off his shirt and turned him around. And when they took his shirt off, they all gasped because his whole back was covered in green hair. And they turned him around and looked in the mirror and showed him, "Oh my gosh, why are you growing green hair?" "I don't know." And they could see it. It was growing on his back. So they called their mom and their dad. They said, "Mom, Dad, little brother's growing green hair on his back." And the mom and dad took a look at it and they were like, "We're not sure what this is, but we think we know who will." So they took the little brother, they put him in the car, put a shirt on him, then they put him in the car, and they drove down the road to the bridge. And there was a little bridge near their house that went over a river. And they parked next to the bridge, they got out, and they walked around underneath the bridge. Because underneath the bridge was a troll.
No, there's a secret underwater inside, so the water couldn't get through, and there's a secret basic thing.
That would be super cool, but that wasn't the case. There was a troll that lived under that bridge, and the mom and dad knew about it, but they never told anyone because the troll, was kind of scary. He was green and ugly. He had pointed ears. He had a bald head with sporadic hairs and some warts on his face. He was very muscular. And
very weak.
And very strong. No, very strong, but he was also very wise. This troll was very, very wise. He knew all about mystical things and magical things. And he was the closest person they could find that knew that kind of stuff. And so the mom and dad took the brother down where the troll was. And they took off his shirt. And they said, "Mr. Troll, what's wrong with our child? It's growing green hair on its back." And the troll stroked his stringy, ugly beard. And he thought about it for a minute. You are growing green hair. And then he said, you are growing not green hair. You are growing mold. And the mom and the dad looked at each other, and they looked at him, and they looked back at the troll, and they said, how could he be growing mold?
What is mold?
Mold is like a soft green fuzz that grows on rocks. They said, how could he be growing mold? He's not a rock, and we bathe him all the time. No, this mold comes from under the couch. It gets on your skin and sticks and grows all over your body, and it covers your face and your nose. And they were like, oh no, how do we get rid of it? Oh, it's easy to get rid of mold. All you do is you catch an eagle and kiss it on the lips. What? Very easy. Kiss an eagle on the lips. Okay. So that was the plan. They had to go catch an eagle and then get the little boy to kiss it on the lips, I guess, and then the mold would stop growing. Well, they've never caught an eagle.
And then they could cut the mold off.
Well, they tried to cut it off, but it just grows back. And the thing is, with the mold, it started spreading. It was on his back. Pretty soon it was on his shoulders, his neck. He started growing up his chin, and they were worried. They didn't want it to cover his face. They didn't know if it would, disfigure
Then
his
he would turn into
precious
like
little skin.
Then he would turn into like a green little boy.
Yeah, he would. He'd be a moldy green little boy. Well, after numerous efforts and different ways to catch
But
the
then if he
eagle,
gets grown-
they jumped, they had nets, they had guns, they had everything they could think of. They didn't know how to catch an eagle. And finally, they just went outside and put a piece of meat on their finger and waited. And slowly but surely the eagles came. They could smell the meat, and they landed on their arm, and the boy was able to kiss the eagle. And when he did, immediately the mold started to turn brown and fall off. And that's why you never crawl under the couch, because you could get a crazy mold disease on your back. The end.